Did you know that what you're doing right now might be holding you back and that dropshipping is a scam? Most people say dropshipping is too competitive or it doesn't work. But here's the truth. It only fails if you actually give up. People around you say it's too competitive, it's oversaturated, you'll never make any money online. Why not just get a normal 9 to 5 and stop wasting time with it? Now, for people who haven't even tried dropshipping, who say these things, it's usually their ingrained fear talking or excuses because they didn't start themselves and they want to self-project that it's a scam because then they don't have to allow themselves to actually try it. So my question is, who are you? If you hear negativity, what's your actual reaction? What's your natural reaction? How do you react to it? Do you think, yeah, maybe they're right, and you give up? Or you say, no, I'll prove them wrong. I know that's not true. This is something which could work. Because your reaction to general criticism or the broad consensus or an opinion of something is obviously going to define whether you'll succeed or not. Let's frame it in this way. Think about everybody who says everything is a scam. Let's apply that to anything, okay? So in the sense of dropshipping, let's speak from the mind of that person. Dropshipping is a scam. It never works. Nobody makes money with dropshipping. Nobody makes money online from selling physical products. E-commerce is a scam. Nobody ships products from a warehouse and makes money from them. Nobody sells products from China and makes money from them online. Nobody has a fashion store that sells clothes. None of them are profitable. Nobody's making profits selling products from China. Now, if you listen to this, how ridiculous does that sound? It sounds pretty stupid, right? That's because I phrased it in a very obnoxious, obvious way, but this is basically what people are saying. People make money online. It's easy to see these fake gurus pushing these courses, and clearly so many of them have never tried e-commerce or dropshipping. In fact, when I'm on YouTube, it's kind of a little bit annoying because I see all these dropshippers. Some of them make similar videos to me, some of them make cringy videos, and some of them make like generic videos with watered down old advice, and you can tell none of them actually dropship. There's a good portion of them who actually do and are legit, and I've talked about the legit ones, but there's so many fake gurus, and because of that, it erodes away the trust and people don't believe that something like this can actually work, and because of that, there's no trust in starting. But anyone who's been successful, they always have the same kind of mindset or the same qualities. And I feel like that's probably why I've been successful. But I see that in other people. I don't really like to talk about my own situation, but when I see other people who've succeeded, like the big people on YouTube or people who've run big brands and businesses, the people which I actually look up to or consume the content of, one thing they have is that they always fight through those doubts and negativity. And they use the criticism or the bad talk about something as fuel, not as the reason to stop. Now, I always had the mindset of like a 10% rule, right? I always thought if someone's making $1,000, I can make $100 realistically. Or if the top dog in like an industry is making $1 million, there's probably a chance where I can get to the point where I make $100,000, right? That was my mindset. Or if someone's making 100k off YouTube a month, let's say, I could get to the point where I make $10,000 a month off YouTube, right? That's the kind of mindset I always have. Or I'd see people, even when I had my gaming channel, like as the main source of income, which was a lot less money than dropshipping, but when I was doing that for the longest time, I'd see someone making like 10k a month. And this was like when I had no income at all and I was a few years younger, right? And I'd see someone making 10k a month and I think, if they're making 10k a month, I can make 1k a month, like a 10% rule. And I obviously got to that and more, but that's always a good mindset to have. So if you see like a big brand owner, for example, or these big dropshippers, they might be making like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 mil a year. You can probably get to the point where you make $1, $2, $3 million in revenue, right? Maybe in the future you'll get to their level, but if you use the 10% rule, it's always realistic. Now, you don't want to always use it. Obviously, you want to reach that point and then exceed those expectations and obviously increase those goals. But if you use the 10% rule, it keeps things realistic and obtainable, and then you can set bigger goals later and it's more achievable. It's not like this big thing which is unrelatable hanging over you, which is impossible, is looming over you. There's like more of an achievable goal, right? But dropshipping is entirely a numbers game, okay? 90% of product ideas will completely fail. That's why we always keep testing, and that's why people sometimes test up to 5 products a day, which is crazy. I don't know how they do it. Even when I was making like the most money, I'd only test like 1 product a day or 1 product every 2 days or 3 days, just when I've got the data, or maybe like 2 or 3, but not like 5 a day. That's crazy. But it's the 10% of ideas and product tests that will actually make it worth it or make it work. The times where I lost tons of money, like thousands, and then I made it all back and then some when I got a winning product, that's literally like when you hit the vault. And the winners don't stop testing, right? They don't stop testing those products. They learn from every failed product. product and you realize what to look out for. And if something works again, you think, okay, let's try this niche, the same niche, let's try a niche down. There's a lot of things and factors to look into, right? It's multifaceted. But as is with the general reality of entrepreneurship, dropshipping isn't easy, but then again, nothing else is, okay? Everything I personally applied myself to in terms of like YouTube success, getting to like 100,000 subscribers and a few $1,000s a month with that wasn't easy. That took like 2-3 years of like daily grinding. Like at the start, I was doing like 2 to 4 daily uploads. Granted, some of them were low quality to start, but that's literally burnout level every day to get that success, right? And it takes that kind of effort. And the difference is with people who don't want that kind of effort, they don't want it hard enough, they won't do it. But that's the kind of effort you need to do. And it's the same with entrepreneurship, right? You need to apply yourself. Most people fail in these circumstances because they're looking for a reason to quit, and they're the so-called non-starters. So like when they have an excuse that something's a scam or it's not worth doing, they don't want to look for a way to win. Now there are scams online, right? Don't get me wrong, there's so many different scams online, especially in the business space and in investing space like Forex and stuff like that. There's so many scams which genuinely probably aren't worth getting into, but not everything's a scam and not every course is a scam. Because for an example, digital products have got a really bad name because of these fake gurus. People think that they're all a scam now, which is not true, because I got my results because I consumed countless courses and I paid for all those courses and I joined those communities and they cost me real money. Were some of them not very good? Sure, but they weren't a scam. I got a few pieces of value out of them. So you've got to look at things in a positive frame, right? It's all about framing. You see all of this kind of sentiment, right? And I agree with it to a certain degree, but I also disagree with it a little bit as well. When that whole kind of like hustle culture movement was coming in, and when people were getting really popular and a lot of people were like copying these like crazy hustlers, right? I won't name any names, but some of the sentiment was like, for an example, surround yourself with 5 people who are like-minded as you, for an example. I can't remember the quote. I used to echo the same quote as well, but it was basically just like have a like-minded circle, and that's good. But a lot of people were giving bad advice, and they were saying like cut out all your friends, or like your childhood friends who don't like business, or you don't do anything with them other than play games, cut them out. That's kind of bad advice, because some of those friends are still good friends. They're just on a different path, right? But there is kind of some truth to the fact that like you should probably separate yourself from actual time wasters or negative people, because there's some people who are like really good friends. Like I have or had some really good friends who I used to play games with, and even though I don't talk to them as much anymore, I still consider them my friends, or I still value them or really like them. I don't really remember having any negative friends or any bad friends. All the people I used to play games with or hang out with, I still really admire them, right? But if you do have negative people, those kind of people drag you down to their level and they say those kind of things, it might be worth just distancing yourself with them a little bit. Maybe they stop you from starting a business. Like for example, maybe you just want to open a physical business. Maybe it's not dropshipping. Maybe you just want to start like a restaurant or something and someone's just pulling you down, right? Who supports you? Who demotivates you? Try and cut back on time with them if they're those kind of people. But some people you need to understand as well is they're not just labeling things as a scam because they don't want to start it or they want to spread negativity. Some of them genuinely are just skeptical people. Maybe they've been burnt in the past, or they've tried a business and it failed, or maybe like these fake gurus and bad actors have basically prevented them from starting because they've scammed someone and they've seen it on a video and they don't want to get scammed. So there's so many reasons why people will say these kind of things, right? But online businesses aren't scams, and it's very easy to see like if people are making millions or thousands of dollars, why are they making YouTube videos? Like some people have seen some of my numbers and they wonder, why am I making YouTube videos as well? I make my videos for free. I've kind of changed my kind of outlook on it now as well. I've given away like 80% of my knowledge for entirely free. What has that done? It's probably just created loads of competition. I haven't sold any digital products. I've only just started a community and I've not really pushed it. Whereas a lot of these fake gurus who don't actually do e-commerce, they're probably making thousands of dollars a month off a course, and they're probably spreading knowledge which is outdated or just doesn't really work anymore that they haven't even tried, right? There are a lot of real people on YouTube who have actually tried what they're preaching, like me, and they do it as a passion, or maybe they just want like the social clout. Like I like the idea of having like 100k subscribers on this channel at some point, even if I have to give away some of my knowledge in order to get there. I just think that's pretty cool, having more of a social presence. I have that on a YouTube channel already, but it's not as much of a personal channel as this, right? So people have different motivations. You do need to make sure you find people who are actually about it and who actually practice what they preach, and they're not these fake gurus and scammers. But in terms of you actually starting, it's January right now. I wanted to make this video to help people who are kind of held back by these mindset blocks, okay? So you want to focus on building yourself. I want to put you in my shoes last year. Now, I never had a a problem with starting, right? But I was at step 0 last year. I was learning. I'd been learning for 3 months. The end of December / the start of January, around this time now that I'm probably going to upload this, I was like ready to push out some product tests and try and make some money with dropshipping, like the first big hit, right? Granted, I'd been doing it for 6 months the previous year. I wasn't a total beginner, but I hadn't made like crazy money yet. But I just started. And I just kept testing, I kept going. I had that headstrong attitude. Even when I lost money, even when I failed, it was a learning experience. And I kept going until I hit gold. I don't know if I'll be bothered in the edit to actually show the image, but there's a famous image. You can probably search it on Google. Just search like miner hits gold or person stops before hitting gold or diamonds or something. It's like a famous image where someone's picking away with a pickaxe. They're mining through like a rock wall and there's diamonds on the other side. But they stop and they turn around before they hit the diamonds. It's the same thing with any kind of business. You don't know how far you are until you hit gold. So you've got to just keep going, and that's what I learned, and that's the mindset I've had with everything I've done, and I think that's why I've got there in the end, because it's all a numbers game, it's all a time game, it's all putting effort and time in the long haul, right? Everything is chipping away. It's like an investment. You're chipping away every day, you're putting like a coin in the jar every day, and it all compounds. It's like compound interest. Every effort you do daily, even if it's like 1 hour a day or daily effort or a task or something, all builds up. 6 to 12 months later, or with dropshipping, like in some of the cases where I found a product, winning product, 3 to 6 months later, you'll hit that goal, man. That's what it is. Take 6 months. It's the start of 2025. Apply yourself. I personally don't do New Year's resolutions. I think they're garbage, right? I think you either have the motivation to do something or you don't. I think if you want to do something, you don't wait a whole year or until January to do it. You just do it. But for people who do want to start just because it's a new year, most of you will quit. But those who don't, take these 6 months. You can consume all the content on my channel for free. You can watch some courses, pay for them, watch another channel, I don't really care. Learn advertising. Learn media buying on Facebook or TikTok ads. TikTok is good for beginners, but you're probably going to waste a lot of money. Facebook, you're probably going to get a lot of account bans. There's going to be a lot of hurdles in both of them. Probably start with TikTok, because there's a lot of teenagers doing that, and learn Facebook. Just watch courses, just learn them. Start selling on one of them. Probably pick TikTok. Maybe even do organic TikTok dropshipping. You can Google that if you don't have much money. Learn advertising. Test products relentlessly, but find how to do product research and validate products first, because you don't want to waste money on stuff which you know won't sell. Build a store, do some basic web design, optimize it, learn about conversion rate optimization, CRO, and just generally grow your knowledge, your skill base, your mindset over the next 3 to 6 months. Ignore the doubters, any intrusive thoughts. You'll hit success, okay? Not everyone succeeds, okay? Even if you try for months, you might not actually succeed, but the chances are you will. I've only done 2 online businesses, right? YouTube, dropshipping. I managed to succeed in them both, which tells me, since I'm probably an average person, that tells me that if you just put time in the game, you will be able to achieve success in anything. It just takes that time. For an example, there's like live streamers. Think about like Ninja, that big Fortnite streamer. He was probably streaming for like 8 years before he got success. Like I remember watching him on like some old game called H1Z1 before he got like huge. He was still kind of big in the underground scene, and then he became like the biggest Fortnite or biggest streamer in general, and he's made millions. Some people it takes years, some people it takes months. With dropshipping it can just take months. You can make big money in months, right? And then expect backlash too. When you succeed, people might say a few hurtful things, okay? They might say you got lucky, they might say dropshipping's dead anyway, or maybe like it's a one-hit wonder. I thought with my first winning product, it was a one-hit wonder, but then I got a second and a third winner. So it's not a fluke. It works. Right now I'm in between products. I'm having some ad account problems, but I know I will resolve those. Those are just hurdles, right? But I've proved 3 times with consistency that it's not a fluke. The problem is a lot of people will criticize you at the start. Now, I didn't get this with dropshipping, but I got this originally with YouTube because I'd had no track record of success with anything. So of course people will criticize it. But when you're starting like your first business, especially, you'll get a lot of criticizing. Now, the problem is there'll be a few people that'll criticize you at the start. So they'll be like criticizing you for starting. Like I remember with like my YouTube, when I was making a YouTube, I had like some people criticize it being like a stupid idea, or like, why are you making these stupid videos, or you know, they're just silly, or you know, he's just making silly gaming videos, right? That was harmless, really. I didn't get any like real hate, so it wasn't really a problem. But you'll get kind of like a bit of criticism, or people like hating, or they won't understand, or they think they're crap videos. That's fine, or whatever you're doing is bad. But a lot of those criticizers, they just need to be proved wrong, right? So when you actually get the success, those same people will then praise you later, which is an interesting thing, and it's also, you know, feels quite good. But sometimes they're praising you because they just want something from you, or they just like that they're connected to someone who's successful. But the interesting thing too is there's another, like, is the word dichotomy, or I guess there's another example of a person or an archetype type, and that's the kind of person who they actually like you when you're like small, when you're at their level, but then when you get like crazy success and you're big, they will then become haters, right? Some of them might be friends, some of them might just be like, maybe online if you're doing a YouTube channel. Luckily I don't have any haters because my channel's like quite small. A lot of people get held back with other people's opinions, but that's another thing which you just have to not care about. I personally don't care. I cared a lot when I was younger, but when I got to like 21, 22, I just didn't really care anymore. Don't let the small things like that hold you back too. But the reason why dropshipping does work, to close out this video, past the mindset, is it's not about luck, it's about persistence. Because if you keep going, you will hit that aforementioned pot of gold. And it can give you a lot. It can give you financial freedom. It can give you time flexibility or location freedom. It can be a scalable way to grow your income, right? So the final message I'm going to give, in fact, before I give the final message, I'm just going to say, I'm going to ruminate on what we said at the start. Think to yourself again, what's a big brand you know about? In the UK, maybe it's Primark, but they have more of like a tycoon of, I guess not a tycoon, but they have more of a business of in stores. They don't really have an online presence. Let's say online we have Walmart. The biggest commerce store probably in America chain is Walmart, right? But they do e-commerce, and it's the same for Target. They do e-commerce too. They sell online. But if you think about more like bespoke or boutiques that sell online, bespoke companies or small boutiques that sell online, like smaller fish, right? A lot of them, you'll probably have some ideas that come to mind. Maybe some of your favorite brands, maybe regular shops or stores you order online. They're selling online. They're no different to you or me. They probably have a CEO or an original founder, or if it's a small business, someone like you who's got a job or who's married or started it at some point earlier in their life, and they made money online. People are making money online. Amazon's the biggest e-commerce company, right? That's different because Jeff Bezos is just minted beyond belief, but you get the idea, right? There's people making money online, so why can't it be you? Just because there's like fake gurus talking about dropshipping. Dropshipping is just a model of e-commerce. It's just a method of selling. It's just a method of fulfillment, right? If we take out dropshipping from the equation and we just call it e-commerce, which is online virtual commerce, selling through the internet, there's loads of brands, loads of companies, loads of people making money online. So the business model is clearly not a scam. Sure, there's probably some fake gurus. Sure, there's people peddling scams in the space, but the business model, thousands of people have been successful and made it successful in dropshipping or e-commerce, and they've made millions. So you could make thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions potentially too. So this is the mindset you need to have, right? Stop labeling everything a scam. Learn to obviously see what is a scam and avoid people selling you scams, but get started, okay? The final message is dropshipping, e-commerce, like any kind of business model, it's not for quitters, right? It's for those who refuse to accept failure. That's what entrepreneurship is. Prove people wrong, prove yourself wrong if you have those mental blocks. And the goal I'm just going to set for you is just keep testing, keep grinding, never stop learning, and you'll hit the goal pot. If you want to speed up and fast track your learning, you can join my community down below. It's only $1. I make no money from it. I just charge $1 so people get in who aren't time wasters and who actually do it. And also, since I'm sharing knowledge, I want people to actually try it, right? Because I'm giving away stuff for free. There's a full case study. There's a past winning product I had, which I've shared in there. It stopped working for me, which is why I've shared it if you're asking. But if you scale it in a different country or market or a different season of the year or run it with a different angle, it'll probably work for you. Test that, learn from the case study. I show you how I scaled and tested the product and how I found it with product research. And also I'm going to probably be putting some courses in there soon, and I'm going to be putting the price up because I've been giving away all my knowledge. I've given away like 80% of what I know basically for free. It's creating a lot of competitors. And this year I want to really buckle down, focus on ecom as usual, make some big money. And I only want to teach people who A, are not time wasters, B, who want to learn, and C, I only want to give away like the nuggets and the 20% to people who want to pay for a seat at the table, right? Because giving away free knowledge now is just stabbing myself in the foot. So, link's going to be below. Subscribe, like the video if this was motivational or if you learned something. I just thought this would be a cool video off the top of my head at the start of 2025. If you want me to do more talking head videos like this, let me know. And let's start 2025 off the right way. Click on one of these two videos next. See you soon.